Best behavior. Please. Here. Okay. Best behavior. Pinky promise.
I don't do pinky promise in 2025.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it's so lame.
Yeah, so lame.
It's so 2022.
Okay, so today we're going to do some vocabulary words, which is meter, liter, metric system, gargantuan, convert, and gram. So we're doing 6 different words, and my question is, have you ever seen or heard these words before? Let's go with meter.
Wait. I heard this word. I heard meter. I heard this word.
Can you tell
I
me what that
heard
word is?
not that one.
Yeah,
I heard this one.
Okay, so you've heard convert. Where do you
Yes.
think you've heard that?
I think in math.
In math, like converting
Science and math.
a meter.
Science and math. Science and math.
Okay, so you see these a lot when you're
Yes.
doing this, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so you see gram,
Yes.
liter,
Yes.
and meter. Okay, good.
Yes.
So these 3 words are actually based off of this word. Can you say that word? Can you read that?
Metric system.
Mm-hmm. So liter, gram, and meter are based off of the metric system. Okay. And we convert in math and in science. Good job. Okay, so we've heard these words before, maybe in a classroom or maybe in a word problem when we're reading a math word problem. And we've heard the word convert, we've heard the word meter, we've heard the word gram and liter. But we haven't heard the word gargantuan, and we haven't heard the word metric system.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
I think I did hear metric system.
You think you have heard that one? Okay, good. Can we put that on the table so we don't like swing it around and hit our head? Okay, so we've done that. And we've heard these words in some places. So now let's read the definitions of each word, and let's see like if we maybe could have used this word in a different scenario. Okay, so gargantuan. What do you think of that word? What does it sound like? Have you ever heard a word that sounds like that?
No.
Okay, do you want to read the definition?
Very,
for me?
very, very big, or huge.
Huge, yeah. So gargantuan, what do you think of when you think of that word? What was the definition?
Like a house.
Like a house, like a gargantuan house. It would be like huge.
Oh, it's large.
Yeah, it's very large. Okay,
Yeah.
so what's something that's very, very
I
large?
don't know that. A house.
A house. What other things are very,
A
very
school.
large? A school. So there was a gargantuan school.
A store.
A store could be big. What are some other things that could be big?
Some storages.
Some storage units.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Outside.
The house that outside is huge. The
Yeah,
sky
it's
is
very
huge.
huge.
Okay, let's go to metric system. So the definition, would you like to read it for me?
What liter? I mean. Okay. A decimal base system of metric measurement is used around the world.
Okay. So it's a decimal base system of measurement, and it's used around the world. Okay. So the United States, sometimes we use pounds. We use the standard unit of measurement, but the metric system is a lot easier and a lot more workable, you know? You know the thing in science where we've done... You're okay? You're okay?
No,
You're
God.
fine. King Henry...
Died from drinking chocolate milk.
King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk. This is what we use in the metric system. And, sorry. And so when we use the metric system, forward or backwards or forward You're fine. Okay. So, we use King Henry died drinking chocolate milk, correct? So, when we're changing the decimal place, so if there's 300 meters, so we would put meters in the middle, you would go to centimeters. Which way would we go?
The left.
We would start right here.
I mean,
We're
the right,
centi-
the right,
yeah,
the right.
1, 2. So here's the decimal, and it would move 1, 2, and it would go right here. So you'd add 2 zeros, and then you have 30,000 centimeters. Okay. So when that happens, you're changing that unit by decimals. So we're not having to convert by like a bunch of different numbers and a bunch of different multiplication factors. So that's the metric system, a decimal-based system of measurement that's used around the world. Okay, you want to read this one?
I like your dress.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
The basic unit of capacity, volume, and the metric system.
Okay. So it's the basic unit of capacity or volume of the metric system. So when we think of liters, what's something that has 2 liters in it? Have you ever heard of like, oh, that has a 2-liter bottle? Like a Diet Coke or a Mountain Dew. Have you heard that before? A Sprite. Yeah, like a Sprite, a 2-liter of Sprite. So a liter measures volume. So volume is something it's a container that holds a certain amount of volume, the capacity that it's able to hold. So a 2-liter bottle is able to hold what? 2 liters of a liquid, yeah. Okay, let's look at grams. So in the standard unit of measurement, we say ounces. Fluid ounces. But in the metric system, they say liters. So gram is also like, you know, when you say, oh, I weigh 64 pounds. Okay? Grams is basically the same thing as pounds when you're measuring weight. So this is the basic unit of mass or weight in the metric system. Can you read that?
The basic unit what is
So a gram is like what? It's how much it weighs. So how much it weighs. So what's another word for that? It's not the metric system, but it would be the standard system. It's like how much somebody weighs. It would be pounds. Okay, let's look at meter. Meter is the basic unit of length. Okay? So let's compare and contrast all these three. A liter is like water, like fluids. A gram is how much something weighs. A meter is how far something is, the distance. So let's do this. A liter is like liquids, like water. Think of a liquid's liter, L, okay? A gram is how much something weighs, okay? So do you want something to help you to remember gram, or do you think you got that?
I got it.
So that's weight. And then let's do meter. This is the length of something. So if you want to measure a table, you would measure it in meters, okay? Hey, best behavior, please.
I'm
Can you sit
trying.
up? Thank you. Okay,
Then we do this.
we're almost to that.
Oh my god.
Okay, convert. Will you read it?
To
To what?
change from one unit to another, centimeters to meters.
So this is to change from one unit to another unit. Okay, so if we're changing from centimeters to meters, or liters to deciliters, or from kilometers to meters, okay? Does that make sense? Does it make sense?
Yes.
So when we convert, we're changing one unit to another unit, okay? So let's actually write a sentence with one of them.
Please do meters. Okay.
You want to do meters?
I guess.
Okay. So we'll do meter. So what does that measure again?
The length.
The length. So let's write a sentence using this word. Okay. So it measures the length. So what could we measure the length of?
Of a ruler.
Of a ruler? We can use a ruler to measure. Okay. So who do Anna measured? What? What did she measure?
A liter. I mean a ruler.
A ruler. Using what?
A meter. A ruler.
She used a ruler. Anna measured
using
a ruler.
Using a.
Okay, let's try again.
A length.
Okay. Anna measured. What did she measure?
A ruler.
No. A ruler is
Oh
what
my
you
God.
use to measure something.
That's what you just said.
Yeah. Okay, so what is she gonna measure? Should she measure the table? Should she measure the
Oh, she
computer?
can measure a wall.
A wall. She wants to measure a wall. Anna measured the wall in meters.
Ooh, she wrote on your table.
Anna measured the wall in meters. Let's do one more word and then you can work on it in your graphic organizer, okay? Sorry. What word would you like to use together? I would do one that's maybe hard. I'm gonna do grams. So what does grams measure? Mass or weight. Okay. So what is something that we could measure its weight?
A person.
A person. So we could say the doctor used grams. Used grams to measure what? To find out
To the nurse weight.
find out the nurse's weight.
Yeah.
Good job. The nurse's weight. Okay. So
We done.
underline the vocabulary word.
Oh my god. Why would you? Oh my gosh.
Good job. And that's what it's measuring, right?
Yeah.
Grams is measuring weight.
Good girl.
Okay. So
We done.
you're almost done. You're going to
I
be
don't
doing
like-
this. So you could actually write the sentence that you already created right here. So here's your pencil. So this is the one for grams. So let's find the word gram. And let's write our sentence right here. The doctor used grams to find out the nurse's weight.
Gotta turn off the pro.
Let me go make sure that the phone is still recording. First, it got knocked in. Yeah, we're good. And if you need any help, just ask, okay?
I gotta do all of this.
Yeah, so we're gonna write a sentence. Always make sure that we capitalize that first
Oh
letter.
my god. This isn't even the start of a sentence.
That is
One is.
Period. So now you're going to go to meter and write a sentence with the word meter in it. Create a sentence. You want the definition first?
I'm worried. Where's the meter? Okay, let's see. What meter? Oh, lowercase, dang. The balls, basic.
She tell her who your older brother is. She might know his name.
This too?
Yeah. Just okay.
Why did you make me write all of this?
So you're able to interpret all of these vocabulary words so you can use them in a sentence. So you can change the tone of a sentence or the meaning of a sentence. So you're able to communicate with people in your writing. Because when you get to
That was
middle
too
school,
long, so I short. I put
Okay.
short.
so you're able to communicate and write paragraphs and sentences with people. So people can understand what you think. Okay, here we go. Make sure you put punctuation at the end.
A punctuation.
Punctuation is a period, an
No, it's not. A
exclamation.
punctuation is this.
No, that's a comma.
I mean, you know what I mean.
Good job. Okay. Great job. So let's kind of review what we've done. So we were able to interpret 6 academic vocabulary words, okay? Can you tell me what the 6 vocabulary words were?
I don't know that word. I forgot.
Gargantuan.
Gargantuan.
What does it mean?
Oh my god.
What does it mean? You know it.
It's very, very big or large.
Uh-huh.
Convert. Metric system.
What does convert mean?
To change.
Uh-huh.
Some.
Yeah, to change the unit. Good job.
Metric system.
What is that?
A base system of measurement.
Okay.
I mean measurement.
Yeah.
Meter.
What does that measure?
A liter.
Yeah. What
A
is?
liter.
What does it measure?
A liter.
Uh-uh.
A basic unit of capacity.
Okay. What does gram measure? Remember the dog?
Weight.
Yeah, there you go. Period. Okay. So we were able to interpret these words and like understand them, and then give an example of how these word choices shape your sentences. Like without using that word that we used for gram, like we used the doctor used grams to find out the nurse's weight. Okay. Okay. So we were able to change the meaning or the tone of that sentence. Okay. And that's it. Good job. I'm proud of you.
Finally. Now you show me video.
Okay. We're done. That's our
Can you
last.
show me the video?
Yes.
A
What
high
is that?
five.
I ain't high-fiving that, girl.